Hey everyone and welcome back. If you're new here then hello, my name is Zoe and this is my YouTube channel. Today we are reviewing another product. We're going to review another foundation today and I'm really excited for this one. We're going to be using the HNB Cosmetics Luminous Soft Focus Airbrush Foundation. This has been on my list to try for ages. I've followed Holly for a very long time now and this is not like a super new product. I know so many of you probably have already used it, but it's new to me and I finally run out of some of my other foundations and this was like on my list at the top of foundations that I want to try next. So I'm going to use it for the first time today, give my first impressions, see how it wears and all that jazz, and I think we should just get straight into the video. Okay, so this is the Luminous Soft Focus Foundation. They are £20, which I thought was an amazing price, and there's also 25 shades. The shade range looks really nice as well. Any foundation with luminosity always calls me because I am more dry, so I feel like more luminous foundations always work better for my skin as well. This foundation does say that it can be used on all skin types, so I'll let you know how it wears today. My other main reason for actually trying this is that I'm looking for new foundations to put in my pro kit as well, and I've seen a lot of makeup artists using this too, so I'm thinking if I like it I'm going to get a few more shades and put them in my kit to use on clients. So first off, the packaging. I think the packaging like looks and feels really expensive. I love the colour way because I love like nude tones, they are my vibe. So then this is what the bottle looks like. Again, I feel like it looks and feels quite expensive, and it is in a plastic container, but I actually prefer this rather than a glass bottle because it makes it so much more lightweight and like easy to travel with. And then the top, I don't think I've had a foundation that actually does this before, so you twist it up when you want to use it and then you just twist it back down when you're done. When you've got caps on foundations, I always end up losing the caps, and then when I put them away, like it accidentally squirts out and then the nozzle gets dead messy. So I feel like that's not going to happen with this. It's going to stay like nice and clean. I actually bought two different shades because I'm thinking over the summer, we already are in spring, so over the summer I might want to like tan it up a bit. I'm already committing like to using this like throughout the summer with getting a darker shade. So the shade I'm going to try today, hoping it's the right one, is LF3C, and then I also got LF7C. I'll swatch them both for you, but I'm not tanned at all at the moment, so I don't think I'll need to use this one. I do prefer a foundation on me with more of like a yellowy undertone to it because I'm quite red like in my cheeks, and I feel like a more yellowy undertone like counteracts my redness. It doesn't specifically say like what kind of coverage, but I'm guessing it's going to be buildable, so I'm going to do like a light coverage and then build it up to see how full we can get it. So my expectations before I've even tried it on, I feel like this is going to be luminous and really airbrush, but I don't feel like it's going to be too in your face shiny. I also feel like it's going to be a medium buildable coverage to fall, and I feel like you're going to also be able to sheer it out if you want to as well. Okay, so this is 3C. I actually think this one might be okay. That's 3C. It's a nice consistency. It's not too thick and it's not too watery. It's like a nice in between. And then this one is LF7C. Definitely not my shade right now, but possibly my summer shade. Can mix them two together. I actually really like the look of those shades. I think I picked well there. Right, let's get on to trying it. Consistency feels really nice. You can see in the camera as well the luminosity too. So let's get straight on and try it out. It doesn't say either like the preference of applying it with a brush, sponge or whatever, so I'm gonna maybe do one side with the brush and one side with the sponge. The sponge is my preferred method, but there's no rules when it comes to makeup. I think this is going to be one of them ones where a little goes a long way. So let's start on this side. I have prepped my skin with the Prep and Perfect Vitamin Enriched Moisturising Primer from Primark. I'm super dry at the moment and hay fever is wreaking havoc with my skin, so I've got quite a bit of texture just around my jawline as well, so it'll be interesting to see how this covers those areas. Let's go in with a brush. This could actually be a tiny bit too yellow for me, but we can work it down the neck. We can make it work for this video, but I think this colour is going to be absolutely fine. Okay, so you can see the coverage is there. Do you know what? It's like I said, it's not luminous as in like Scary Luminous. Actually, that is a very good colour match. One thing I will say, I'm just going to get on my phone. On Holly's actual website, the HNB Cosmetics actual website, they've got like a picture of a model wearing the foundation, which I actually like. Rather than trying to pick from like the swatches, it's really nice and a lot easier to pick your shade, because it is quite hard to pick your shade online, but it's nice and easy when you've got like a model to compare like your skin tone to. So I'm really glad with what I picked. And then the darker shade I'll definitely be able to wear like when I'm more tanned. I'm already absolutely loving it. I know I've literally been wearing it for 2 seconds, but you can see how amazingly it's like cancelled out my redness, which is why I prefer something with a bit more of like a yellow undertone to it, because here I am a bit more like yellowy. My cheeks are quite red. It looks very natural, but the coverage is very bare. Like a little bit does go a very long way. That to me is like a medium coverage, and that's just, well, it wasn't really one full pump to be honest. Okay, absolutely love that. That was so easy to blend, and usually I don't like using a brush for foundations, but that took like no effort. There's definitely luminosity there. Can you see that on the top of my cheeks? But it's not too luminous that you feel like it's already starting to slip and slide. It just looks like a nice, comfortable, glowy finish, which is what I like. So sponge this time and really press it in. It definitely does just even everything out so quickly and easily. I feel like I'm maybe having to work a little bit more with it with a sponge, but I do find that anyway with foundations. I don't know whether, I think I might have preferred the brush to apply it actually. Okay, so I would say that is a medium coverage. I like using both the sponge and the brush. The finish on both is really nice. I found it easier using the brush though than the sponge, but honestly it looks amazing with both. And I also love, if I turn my head side to side, you can see the luminous finish. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's only luminous like in the right places, like just on the high points it's catching the light. It doesn't feel overwhelmingly shiny that now I've got to start like panicking and toning it down. So I think even if you are a bit more oily, you'll be fine with this. You'll just have to like set the centre, and you can keep a little bit of luminosity if you want, because it is only showing like in the right areas that you would want to be highlighted, if you get what I mean. So I'm going to build this up a little bit more just to see if we can get a super full coverage, which I'm guessing we can. I'm going to do the beauty blender for the top coat because I feel like that way we can really push it into the skin. The more that you're pressing your foundation into the skin, the longer it's going to last. So especially if you do more of like a full coverage, really take the time with your foundation and you will get amazing results. So when I'm building coverage, I mainly concentrate like in the centre and then working my way out, because that's where I need like most of the coverage. This foundation, I'm not even joking, is so flawless. I love how it's full coverage, but it doesn't look heavy. It still looks quite natural on the skin, like you can still see like my skin showing through, even though it's like covered everything that it needs to cover. Okay, so first impressions, the foundation's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to do my other cream products now to see how it blends with each other, and then we're going to set it with our powders, and then we're going to see how it wears throughout the day. So let's do a little bit of concealer. I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape. Let's just use a little bit of this. I don't need too much. I'm not going to matten this down too much. I want to keep some of the luminosity just so I can see if that like gradually gets more throughout the day or whether it dries down a bit throughout the day. Okay, let's do a bit of cream bronzer. I'm going to use my Mama Mitchell blush. This is in Creme Cave. Now I'm going to buff this in with a little brush so we can see if the foundation starts to move around or anything, which I can't see that doing, to be honest. I think I need to get a new one. Bronzer for me is where I struggle, because sometimes I'm like in denial that like I'm not tanned, but I still feel like I am, so I end up putting too much bronzer on. Okay, that's like melted in. It hasn't disturbed the foundation at all, which is very nice. Okay, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of cream blush. This is the eye base from P. Louise in Winter Rose. Really liking cream blush at the moment. Pressing this in with my finger because these are quite pigmented. The consistency is quite thick and I feel like they blend a little bit better with like a warm finger than a brush. And again, it's not moved the foundation at all underneath, which is amazing. But let's go in with powder and set this down. So I'm not gonna set it super strongly because I want to see if like the luminosity gets more luminous throughout the day or whether it kind of like stays the same. I'm going to use my Laura Mercier powder because this is my favourite of all time. I'm going to stick maybe just like to the centre of the face, and then my bronzer that I'll put on will slightly set the like the outer perimeter anyway. I want to keep it quite dewy and quite natural. For if I'm doing more of a full coverage, I do like to keep a bit of dewiness because I feel like it looks a little bit more natural then, and you can get away with like a more fuller coverage. Whereas like if I really build up a matte foundation on me, I think because my skin is so dry, it tends to have like that cakey look, which I don't like. And then for bronzer, I'm going to use this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And with my bronzers, I like to press my bronzer on rather than like rubbing the brush into the skin, only because we've not set the outer perimeter with any product yet, so it may have a chance of like moving the product around underneath, which is what you don't want after you've just spent ages doing your makeup. Okay, I think that's enough for bronzer. And then for blush, I'm going to do a little bit. I've kept my powder products quite matte because I want to see like the luminosity that the foundation gives rather than like products that I'm putting on top. This is a blusher from KVD Beauty. It's in the shade Poppy. Just a little bit. Okay, so with the powder bronzer, take these out now. With the powder bronzer that I've put on top, it has mattened it down slightly, but there is still like luminosity to the high points of my face, which is nice. So I'm going to see like if my face does get any shiny throughout the day. I don't usually suffer that much with it because I am so dry. So this is like really comfortable for me that it's not like too matte. But I think if you are a bit more oily, I think you're going to be fine with this. You may have to like just set down the centre a little bit more. So my first impression so far of the Luminous Soft Focus Airbrush Foundation is like a 10 out of 10 for first impressions. I absolutely love it. This is definitely suitable for all skin types, so that is amazing. And I love the container. I love like the consistency and the feel of the foundation. It blends really easily, like I didn't even have to, especially with the brush, this brush, it blended in like 2 seconds, and you can build it up to a nice full coverage as well. I would say this is probably going to be like my going out foundation, special occasion foundation. And I also will share like a clip of me in natural like daylight with my like selfie camera as well, because obviously I'm in front of lights here, so it may look a little bit different in daylight. So we're going to leave it on for as long as we can. I'll come back to you later on. I won't be in the studio, so you'll definitely see. I'll have to film it on my phone because I won't be here. So far I absolutely love it. I knew that I would because I hadn't heard anything bad about it. So yeah, let's leave this on as long as we can. For me it'll be quite a few hours, but for you it will literally be like 2 seconds. So I will see you later on and we can see how it's lasted. Everyone, so I am back and it's the end of the day. I'm ready to take my face off now. I have only been wearing my makeup for 6 to 7 hours, so it's not the longest of wear tests, but in that time it has worn really well. The only place that it has worn off is like a bit on my nose. I have been wearing my glasses all day, so it hasn't worn off like on my cheek area, but it has just worn off a little bit there on my nose. And my hay fever has been so bad today, my nose has been running non-stop, so I've had to blow my nose so many times today. I think that is why. The finish is still so pretty. When I move my head, I am just in front of a window, you can see like just the natural glow to it. It's absolutely stunning. So we've already talked about my first impressions, application, all that jazz. That we already loved, and now I love it even more because it's lasted so well as well. So I'll definitely be using this again, and I'll wear it for longer as well next time. But I think because we've done more of a full coverage, if it was gonna do anything like move around, become patchy or anything like, it would have done it already when it hasn't. So it's lasted amazingly, which is very good. It's also made me want to try a few more products from the brand. I can't wait to try the concealer. I'm going to get another shade of that as well, so I can try that. I want to try the setting powder too, because that's supposed to be amazing. So if you've tried anything else from HNB Cosmetics, then please let me know so I can try them as well, and let me know if you tried the foundation and if you love it as much as I do. Okay guys, so that completes today's review, wear test and all that jazz of the HNB Cosmetics Luminous Soft Focus Airbrush Foundation. I really hope you did enjoy today's video. Let me know if you did down in the comments. Please give it a big thumbs up as well, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next week in my next one. Bye!